Let's bring him in. My good friend, Dr. Joe Congini, Sports Medicine Center, Akron Children's Hospital with us. Good morning, Joe. What do you have for us today?
Hey, Ray, I wanted to talk about a study that a lot of people are talking about, and I thought it was kind of a good way to wind down activity in 2022 for us, maybe on a positive note, and maybe about why we do what we do. Why is youth sports an important thing, we think, or is it an important thing? And I wanted to highlight this study. It kind of goes along with one of the things I use a lot around town is all I wanted to know I learned in kindergarten, that book series. I always use all I wanted to know I learned in youth sports. A lot of things that we learn about life, I think, we can learn from youth sports, and they kind of proved it in this study. So let me give you a couple details about this study done at The Ohio State University. About 4,000 people responded to this and were involved in this study. That's a pretty big study. It came out here in the year 2022, just in the last few months. It was not a Midwestern Ohio study. It had people from all 50 states. It equally represented all the demographic groups, and so they wanted to make sure to take any of that bias out of it. And what they were seeing, if they were going to prove, is does sports participation have something to do with the development of a thing they call GRIT, G.R.I.T, GRIT. GRIT's defined as the combination of passion and perseverance that helps people achieve their long-term goals. And the research found that adults who played sports as a kid scored higher on the measurement of GRIT than adults who didn't play sports or said that they quit sports. And some of what they found as offshoots of this study is that this grit can inoculate people against things later in life, overcoming setbacks, failures, devastation, helplessness that they run into in life. It can enable them to resist engaging in risky behaviors such as substance abuse or unsafe sexual behavior. Kids were less likely to drop out of high school and military training if they were involved in youth sports. And so as a part of that, they looked at a couple hypotheses that they proved. Number one, the duration of sport participation matters. So that it depended on how long kids played sports. With the more sustained participation in organized sport while growing up, they're more positively affected when they get into adulthood. And number two, the participation in organized youth sports while growing up significantly positively associated with adult grit in this study. The one good thing they found that adults who were not involved in youth sports could pick this up at a later date. That sports participation within the last year before the study did have a positive effect on grit. So one of the things, people like you and I that are around sports a lot and had a lot of kids and had kids play sports, we know sometimes that youth sports get out of balance. And part of what we think at a place like a sports medicine center at Akron Children's Hospital, our job is to try to keep sports in balance for kids. But when we can keep sports in balance for kids, this study really showed pretty strongly that there's a lot of long-term and lifelong effects that you can learn about grit for the rest of your life from being involved in youth sports as a kid.
Dr. Joe Congini, Sports Medicine Center, Akron Children's Hospital. Joe, good stuff. Continue to look into the world of research, more and more available to all of us.
For sure. You know how it is in medicine, and I apologize about that, but we need good science to back up things before we say them. And we feel a little bit better about a big study like this at The Ohio State University that included 4,000 participants from all over the country.
No doubt about it. Joe, great stuff as always, my friend. Thank you for the visit with us next week. I know you'll be away. I'll be away. We'll get together to kick off 2023. But on behalf of all of us at WAKR, thank you each and every Wednesday for taking time out of your busy schedule to join us in the world of sports medicine.
Thank you so much for your friendship and for all you do in our community, Ray. Thanks.
Thank you.
Happy 2022. Merry Christmas to everybody out there. Happy holidays.
Dr. Joe Congini, Sports Medicine Center, Akron Children's Hospital with us.